Omar, I've been thinking.
Oh, that's great.
I've been realizing now on episode 16 of this podcast, I think this whole time we've thought it was about Riverdale Season 6.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's actually about something else.
What do you think it's about?
I think it's about a struggle.
Oh.
It's about a struggle between those who work and those who exploit workers. It's about me, your co-host, Sarah Kaplan.
Mm-hmm.
And you.
Union busting Omar Najam.
Union busting Omar Najam. Yes. And I think as a result, it's time that we finally start taking this podcast as seriously as it deserves.
Okay, I'm with you on this.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I wanted to bring on a very serious guest for this episode. A guest that, listener, you might know from his time with the Doubleclicks. You might know from his award-winning musical, Teaching a Robot to Love, or from his award-winning solo show, A Shark Ate My Penis. You might even know him from his pivot within music to Laser the Boy. That's right. Today, we're talking to none other than Laser Weber.
Hello, I'm here to bust your
Laser.
Unions. Get
Whoa.
your unions out of here. I want to create a devil train.
Yeah, Ghost Train.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laser. So are you anti-union?
Of course I am. Listen,
That's what I thought.
They get in the way of me making all of the money that I need to make in order to whatever. No, I'm not. I actually am very pro-union, believe it or not.
That's somewhere where you and I differ because Omar and I run this podcast. We run it with an iron grip, and we have beneath us the working cast on whose back we like to keep our boot firmly placed.
I did notice that you sent me a microphone and then you said you were going to take that out of my fee, which is lower than you promised to begin with. So
that's
I'm
true.
like,
well, Laser, we can't have you giving any revolutionary ideas to our little employee Azriel. Hi, Azzy.
Hi, it's me. Yes, I'm pro-unionization.
Oh, well, we can't have that.
We can't have that.
All right,
God,
I'm
sorry.
gone. Bye.
Listener, I'm sorry. We had to cut out here, and this is Sarah from the future coming back in. Azzy has unfortunately lost a foot in a brutal podcasting accident.
I was down in the podcast mines.
Azzy, will you confirm for the listener that we don't pay you anything to do this?
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah,
zero.
Azzy's not even an unpaid intern. Because Azzy's not an intern. Azzy's a full-ass producer, okay?
That's right.
Yeah.
There's no rules about unpaid producers.
unpaid producer,
I want to clarify something, listener. It is true that we don't pay Azzy for her work, which is tireless and necessary, and without which this pod would not exist.
Yeah.
But Omar and I aren't being paid either. So, I don't know what the law is there. If none of us are being paid, and if anything, listener, you know what, Omar, I'm starting to think that you and I maybe are part of Azzy as being one of those who work, and it's the listener who's exploiting our work.
Whoa,
Dude,
that's interesting.
Is this a very long build up to a Patreon pitch?
We don't have a Patreon. We don't have a
Okay.
Patreon. No,
Okay,
but you can
great.
Venmo me $7,000 at Sarah Kaplan Improv.
And will.
We're in a Patreon limbo. There could be one by the time this podcast.
That's true.
Yeah, that actually what we said might be a lie.
That
We
might be
don't
a
know
lie.
yet.
So if it's
Make
true,
one. What's the
would
worst
love
that
it if
could
she
happen?
gave us money.
Yeah, if we do have a Patreon, you should pay us so that we can pay Azzy and we can stop being brutal union busters.
When I go to a wedding, and that's often, it's every weekend at this rate, in your mid-30s.
Yeah, I have friends
And
too.
they go, would anyone like to,
Brag.
when they go, would anyone like to bless this union? I always stand up and I go, I would like to break this union.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they have to explain to me that it's not about labor loss. And then I go, oh, sorry.
I do the same
forget that
thing
at every wedding.
I don't get invited to weddings. I just hang around venues.
Oh.
And I say I would like to break this union, and they say, "Ma'am, this is not about labor law." And I say, "I know I'm anti-marriage as an institution," and then I get carried out.
Oh, they carry you out.
Yeah, it's really
That's
nice.
Yeah,
I'm against being invited to places where other people's relatives are there. So that's unfortunately
what a good
bold.
marker of social interactions.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of relatives, Laser.
Yes.
I was actually, I don't know if you know this, but I was part of the ATF team tracking your dad's rum and jingle jingle operations back in the day.
No, wait,
Yeah.
really? You didn't uncover any of his letters, right?
His letters?
Is this a different guy?
Your dad's letters?
I don't know.
No. You're talking about when I was working with the Pinkertons for the Pickens family back in 1944 during the miners'
What were you talking
strike.
Easy mistake.
I was talking about when your dad had an illegal rum and jingle jingle operation as part of his extended crime network.
Okay. Yeah. And I feel like you're right that I should have remembered that, because having watched one episode of this show, I know everything that's going on. I know everybody's names. And why they're reacting emotionally the way they are in any given situation is very clear.
Yeah. So, I'm going to say this. If you have any questions, and then I will ask you a question, Laser. But if you have any questions, we do have an ongoing segment that runs the entire length of the podcast episode called Ask Azzy. You can ask our, as of yet, unpaid, as of date of recording unpaid, but maybe
if you give
will
to
be
us
paid.
on Patreon?
Maybe if we have a Patreon.
I just want to say, I am a crowdfunding advocate, so I feel like this is a great episode for us to do some Patreon.
That's true.
Okay.
This is what I do. This is my job. As I come in and I say to artists, hey, people are enjoying your stuff. You could probably ask them for a couple bucks and they won't be mad at you.
First tier could be like our 50s cup of coffee. You can get a 1950s rate cup of coffee.
If you join
for 25 cents.
What I assume is the first tier of our Patreon. If you can walk into any diner in America and ask for a free cup of coffee and a 25-cent burger. We don't guarantee that they will oblige, but you do have the right to ask.
You have the right to ask. And I have the right to ask Laser this question.
Yes,
since this is the first episode of Riverdale that you've seen, would you mind? Now this podcast is the Riverdale Season 6 podcast. This is not the Riverdale Rewatch podcast. We are only covering Season 6. But,
I want to just before you finish this, I did watch maybe 1.5 seasons at the very beginning of Riverdale.
There we go. Okay,
that's okay.
So
this ties in perfectly. Could I maybe throw I'll name a season. I'll go in order. These won't be surprises. We're gonna start at 1, and then could you give us like a 1-word to 5-word sort of sense? It doesn't even have to be a plot. It's kind of like an energy, an aura, if you will, if you want. Maybe like the main villain, what they're giving off. So season 1, what would you say in a word picture?
Season 1, to me, if I remember correctly, the plot was Cheryl Blossom, ghost brother, incest, maybe. They had a thing.
Cheryl Blossom, ghost brother, incest, maybe. That's actually correct.
Yeah,
that's
correct.
100% accurate.
Okay.
Amazing. A little bit of a Twin Peaks vibe. Season 2, what are you feeling when you close your eyes and you travel through?
I have no idea. Archie has a band. Did that happen at some point?
That's season 1. Well, Archie. All right, season 2, Archie has a band. Season 3.
Yeah. Put on the blindfold.
Okay.
Your carefully crafted blindfold.
Race war.
Okay.
That's actually, that touches on some things. I think you're a lot closer than you realize.
Okay, great.
Season 4.
Okay, that's 2 seasons before what we just watched. So at this point, there has to be wizards.
You'd really think.
So season 4 is wizards?
Wizards.
I feel like by this point, there has
Potter
to be...
season.
Waverly Place gets a shout out in this episode.
That's true. We do get a Wizards of Waverly Place shout out.
I just don't know how you get to where we are now if you didn't incorporate the supernatural earlier.
Okay, so season 5?
Okay, season 5. Oh, well, this is going to be... okay, we're at unions now.
Yeah.
just Glee. They just did a season of Glee.
Okay.
Interesting.
What I'll say is each season has a Glee episode, so very close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so we've gotten to here with the magic in this season. Do you want to now? Since you honestly, I feel like you've been hitting them. You
nailed it.
Bases 1 through 3, home, back to base 1, and it rinse and repeat. Would you like to take a stab as to how superpowers emerged into this world in Riverdale in this season?
Okay, well, the thing that I saw in this episode is that they had a comic book, and that freaked me out. Because this is based on a comic book, but it is not really.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at a comic shop briefly, and I was terrible at it because I don't really like reading comics because I'm like, there's too many pictures, and I just want to get to the plot. Like, don't show me faces. I can't interpret their emotions anyway. So just so I feel like maybe at some point they dug up Archie comics and then it became kind of a stranger than fiction thing where somebody is writing the comics and that has created magic.
Yeah, that is honestly pretty accurate.
King of Fringe, Laser, Weber over here.
Yeah. Is that
knocking
real?
out of the park yet again.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what's real is after Hiram Lodge, this is your aforementioned father with the Rum and Jingle Jingle Enterprise.
Lodge, Veronica Lodge's father.
Veronica's dad. After he set off a bomb at the end of season 5, through a series of reasons the listeners are well acquainted with. We have science, magic, creation, whatever. Bomb sets off, and for reasons that creates an offshoot splinter universe called Riverdale, where all things are possible, including magic and the supernatural.
Yeah.
And there is
because of a bomb.
Well, not just okay. We'll go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So Hiram Lodge places a bomb underneath Archie and Betty's bed.
Yeah. While Archie and Betty are making out an act of love.
Yes. While Jughead's in the garage writing an act of creation.
While Cheryl Blossom has a curse on the town, an act of magic.
And there is palladium nearby, which is an act of science.
Okay. So the thing that makes the world everything possible is also. Like magic was required to make that happen.
It's just sort of a confluence of emotional energies. Okay. It's sort of a Captain Planet of vibes.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I do think I did not take that into consideration.
No, there is already magic in this world because Sabrina exists in the world of Riverdale already.
Yeah.
Does the magic exist because there are lesbians? That was the vibe I was getting. Was that it was lesbian powered?
But there
magic.
Are also there's also like patriarchy magic that the warlocks use.
Bad. I'll take a stance. I'll hop on this soapbox. I think bad.
And in the Splinterverse of Riverdale, where all things are possible, there's multiple Jugheads, including a narrator Jughead and a normal Jughead. But there's also a third Jughead who's locked in a bunker, writing stories, and it's these stories being written by Jughead that power the independent existence of the Riverdale Splinter universe and prevents it from collapsing with the Prime universe.
Sure.
But we are getting backflow of magic from Riverdale into Riverdale.
Okay. And for what reason are we creating non-alcoholic absinthe?
It's not non-alcoholic. It's just
it's
not dangerous.
Poisonous
to make money.
Okay, great. I would argue that if she's depoisoning absinthe, alcohol is a poison.
Right.
Like, that is so.
I think she can control how much.
Oh, that's very convenient.
It's unclear.
Okay.
Is it the most important thing of this episode? It is.
Yes.
So let's dig into it. Veronica is talking to Agent Drake, who is the FBI agent in charge of the paranormal.
I'm so sorry. I know that this isn't the right segment, but how old is everybody?
25.
Why everybody's 25?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did we have a Riverdale college era?
No, we had a 7-year time skip between 2 episodes in the middle of season 5.
Okay, great.
You can tell by looking at them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look very different from season 1.
The long and short of it, Laser, it's okay to be horny about them now.
It wasn't okay before?
They were high schoolers,
They were high schoolers.
Okay, somebody should have told them. the magic part that bothers me the most is Archie's eyebrows and hair.
Yeah.
Has that been addressed?
No.
This has come up a lot, actually, with lots of our guests.
Yeah, been addressed on the podcast, but not on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if they have a lot of money, but they haven't figured out how to make his hair look natural.
No, they did.
They used to.
It used to look natural.
It used to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is a choice.
Because is it okay? Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, technology changed.
Is it a good choice? That I don't know, but it's a choice. It's intentional.
Okay, so they're all 25. Now, please continue with Agent whatever.
Agent Drake. Agent Drake, the hot lesbian paranormal FBI agent.
Yeah.
Great rack. First thing I noticed about her. Incredible stuff.
This is can we not be so misogynistic about the actresses on the show, please, Laser? And
it's the outfit. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. I just restarted testosterone, and it's boobs are literally the only thing I can see right now. So,
fair enough. So she, not only is she super into Betty, she's like she's trying her best to seduce Betty. She also happened to work on the Hiram Lodge case, or she was familiar with him, and lets Veronica know that she used to be like a special investigator in the world of absinthe. And I'm with you. This is the part of the story of season 6 that has lost me most. Why is Veronica so interested in this absinthe idea? I don't know.
Because she has poison powers, yes.
She is a human biodialysis machine.
Great. And here's my question. She goes to Cheryl's house while Cheryl is talking to her lesbian witch friend.
Yeah, Heather.
Great. And obviously Cheryl is very unhappy to see her for reasons not explained. But then she says, I need to borrow a book. And so Cheryl is like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. And I'm a little confused as to why borrowing a book makes that
She's not
better.
Unhappy to see Veronica. It's a cock block.
Because, okay, got it.
Yeah.
She was busy trying to, that's great.
Yeah.
They're very cute.
She was trying to get her lesbian witch on.
This is an audio podcast. I would like to describe the visuals of this conversation for the listeners. Laser, you are resting back with a pen in your hand, ready to click it. This is a pitch meeting. Yeah, I want to be clear. We're past a general. A general is safe because you're kind of like that's like the meet cute. That's the date. Like if you want to work with me, do you like me? You know, present yourself. Just be yourself. Now that we are ourselves. This is when things are getting a little spicy dicey. We're on, and I'm feeling we're on thin ice.
It's the line that I feel like I just need some explanation for. Yeah, I'm not saying that we have to cut it. I'm just saying
for sure.
Like maybe the listener, you know, the viewer has questions. You will deliver the beanie unto me.
You mean the best line of the episode?
A normal thing that a guy says to his friend. Moose? Was that Moose? No.
That was Reggie.
That was Reggie, yeah.
Reggie, you know, from the Archie comics.
Yeah.
Reggie's in the Archie comics.
Reggie's in Archie. Reggie is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Academy Award-winning Charles Melton playing Reggie. And the beanie is, of course, a reference to the beanie that Jughead wore for most of seasons 1 through 4.
Right, until he buried it in a time capsule.
Yeah. As a part of like discarding his past self and moving forward. And
the other day, not to interrupt the synopsis, but
please.
The other day I was thinking about how we've strayed away from time capsules. And I just kind of feel like we've lost a little faith in the future. I kind of feel like it's a little like fatalistic.
Yes. If I were going to do a time capsule now, it would probably be like dehydrated rations, fire starting supplies.
We don't have a lot of like pride in the moment we're in right now. Like, I want everybody to remember the year 1989, the year the Berlin Wall fell. Now we're just like, we're sorry to the future for what we've done, and I don't want you to have to think about us.
I'm gonna say this because we're not going to be around for when whatever time capsule I participate in is opened up. I'm pulling a goddamn prank, y'all. Let me tell you exactly what I'm doing. I'm putting
a bottle.
It's gonna be that kind of thing. I am putting a list of like a manifest of items and a doll, and then a bunch of torn up, burnt like things.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna be like our town's flag, this and that, a ship in a bottle, these charms to protect you. If this bracelet's ever broken, know that the curse is returned.
Sure.
And then all of that, all of the things just broken, shattered, and then lastly, a haunted doll. (Parentheses. Hopefully nothing happens, and that's it.
You know,
I think
one
that's really
thing.
good.
One thing that I think goes under considered is that humans have been the same for like 100,000 years.
Yeah.
And people look at all the curses that were written by like Egyptians on the tombs of pharaohs and on sarcophagi and stuff. And they're
I'm always looking at that stuff.
Yeah. And I feel like not enough people are giving credence to the idea that like, well, maybe that was a prank. Like what's ancient Egyptian Omar putting on his sarcophagus?
Yes.
Obviously some curse pranks.
Some curse pranks.
There was some archaeologist who was talking about how when you find like an ancient dildo, you have to say it was used in a fertility ritual.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like fertility. We have fertility rituals all the time. We were talking about them before this record. And I don't think that when we bury it,
listener,
you'll have to go on to Patreon for that.
We were having our own fertility ritual earlier, but we don't call it that. We call it, getting in the bunker with your head.
Yeah, we call it boinking.
Yeah, we call it.
Amongst us adults.
Yeah,
all of us call it boinking.
Since it is, since it's known in this podcast, Omar, that you're ace, I think that's a very fitting way for you to describe the act of fucking.
Boinking.
I didn't like the way you said that.
No, it was upsetting.
Welcome, everyone. We're recruiting. Did you feel a little discomfort? Interesting. I have a pamphlet that's got the following colors: purple, black.
Here's
white,
the
and
secret.
gray.
Here's the secret, listener. I'm also often, usually pretty ace. So I'm making myself uncomfortable, and I'm already reading Omar's pamphlet.
I would like to say, as a very proud member of the ace community, I am not necessarily arrow ace, and I know it's all spectrumy. But I would like to say to the folks who are dedicated arrow ace representatives, God damn your flag! God damn that flag looks good. It's such a good flag.
Yeah,
it's a great flag.
Good flag.
Good flag.
That's why I decided to go binary trans, because the NB flag is just hideous. I was like, fine, you know what? Fine. I'll change.
I do love the binary trans flag. Pink is
a good flag.
I will stake my claim for the non-binary flag. I think it is great.
Great.
Good flag.
I'm happy for you.
It's a flag.
It's not for me.
Just kidding. This podcast loves all pride flags equally.
Yes.
Officially. Just so people don't get mad at us.
That's the new polyamorous flag is good.
Good flag.
Old one is some of the craziest things you'll ever see.
Polyamory flag?
I love the look of two queers Googling. What a joy.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to make sure, because I like to just double check.
Is
I don't want to put my
okay, let's get into it, Pod.
Okay.
We got laser on the pod.
Hell yeah.
This episode speaks for itself. We can 100% take a break and come back to it.
It's like the Giovanni episode.
I will need to make sure we come back later.
Yeah, we're going to come back to the pod. But do we think, I want to hear official stances where we're drawing a line in the sand. Does being polyamorous, is that enough for you to count as queer? Should polyamory have a pride flag?
Oh, God. I feel like I definitely shouldn't be the person who decides.
I mean, it can have a pride flag because there's a lot of pride flags for things that aren't part of the queer family.
There's a straight pride flag. There's a straight pride.
The Nazi flag?
We're sorry to all the straight listeners.
We're not sorry.
We understand that you are under persecution on a daily basis.
I mean, I've been to a straight pride rally, and it was literally a bunch of neo-Nazis.
Oh, my God. Was it a Santa Claus one?
Laser has gotten his trans flag out.
Laser's got his trans flag out. It was a straight pride rally in a couple hours east of San Francisco.
Oh yeah, you were speaking at that, right?
Yeah, and it was literally I was speaking there, which was great. It was me and all my neo-Nazi friends.
As someone who grew up in San Jose, the second that you said east of San Francisco, oh yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah, got it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. the cops ended up kettlebelling all the queers who were there to counter-protest the obvious Nazi rally.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Good.
polyamory doesn't count as queer.
So I've been in both poly and monogamous relationships.
Brag.
Sorry, my bad. And I don't feel like being in a poly relationship is queer, but I feel like if the only way you experience attraction is polyamory, then I would label that as queer.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love that. That sounded really sophisticated.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. This is my position on polyamory. First, I'm, as I mentioned on the pod, I practice polyamory. I'm in a polyamorous relationship.
Sarah, don't sell yourself short. You're a master.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think in a lot of ways, I get way more grief and confusion from people over being in a polyamorous relationship than I do over being in a lesbian relationship, or than I see monogamous gay friends get for their relationship structures. So in that sense, going back etymologically, the origins of queer from the Latin torquere, meaning to rend or twist, polyamory is a greater rend or twisting of the social fabric than being in a
Harvard over here.
monogamous gay relationship.
How do you like them apples,
Yeah,
Laser?
But that said, I don't think polyamory is an orientation in the way that sexuality is. I think anyone could be polyamorous. I think those who say that they're diehard monogamous are have insecurities they need to work through and are projecting their jealousy into a form of control on their partner.
Yeah. Well,
that's my take. That's just my take.
I think it's a very thorough take. It's what a character arc for you to have been a speaker at a straight rally to this. I mean, really.
So my question is there polyamory in Riverdale?
Kind of.
Oh. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot coming up in a season we probably won't cover, but in the entire extent of the show, I would say for sure, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, there's polyamory. I mean, Betty offers up her invulnerable boyfriend Archie to her poisonous best friend Veronica, so that Veronica's last kiss doesn't have to be with her shitty ex-boyfriend Reggie.
And there's like definitely some tension after in the live performance of Toxic by Britney Spears.
Yeah, 100%.
They're like all kind of looking at each other, and it's like there's definitely some vibe going on there.
Yeah. But
what a normal show. What a normal show.
I would say the polyamory in this show really doesn't, until season 7, doesn't extend very far beyond girls get to, like, people can kiss sometimes.
Girls who are in relationships with boys are allowed to kiss each other.
Except that I was going to say that, except that Archie was the one who got to kiss Veronica. Yeah, so I was wrong.
So some people just kind of kiss sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people kind of kiss.
And that's the world, kids, okay?
That's the world. Get used to children, get used to it.
People kiss. People kiss.
Yeah, all these kids that are listening to this podcast.
Kindergarten cops.
I hope the kids aren't listening to this podcast.
Yeah, me too.
You legally actually can.
Kids, please stop. It's marked as explicit on all podcasting platforms.
Do you have a structure? Are we supposed to get through
sorry.
it?
Let's get into the episode. Yeah,
thanks for getting us back on track.
Yes,
I know this isn't normally my role. I do have a line that I need to talk about.
Yeah, please.
Please.
Towards the Betty plot line.
Is it Are You Afraid of Death?
It's not that one. That's good though. It's
like a normal thing to say to a dying guy. Hey, are you afraid of death? Just asking. Tee.
Yeah, Real House MD logic.
Is it moral corruption leads to bodily corruption?
It's not. When Alice is explaining why Charles is back in the Cooper family house, she goes, and the prison infirmary is full, so they sent him home.
Yeah.
Hey.
Do you disagree with Shankshaw's policies on full infirmaries?
Hey, he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
With his boyfriend. There's no indication that he could do it alone.
Hey, why? Hey, that's not how that works. And like, I know I'm digging too deep in a show that literally has superpowers and an immortal racist warlock, but the fact that they have the line, the prison infirmary was full, so they sent him home.
Well, he's dying of like blood cancer or whatever.
They still wouldn't send him home.
I mean, I would argue that they did.
Yeah,
My
it's
bad.
clear that they would.
Yeah.
That's fair though. Fair to point out.
I had to pause the episode for like 20 minutes when that happened.
Laser, I have a question.
Yes, thank you.
So when did your poison powers first start to manifest?
Okay, so it's a great question. I think when I was a kid, I was like, when's it gonna come? And I remember, and I remember the day that I started, I fell down the stairs of my house also, and then I went to a pool party.
Okay,
and I hadn't worn like a big enough tampon, and so I bled right through my dress. Was that the question?
I see.
Yeah, that was the question.
Yeah,
Thank you. Next question. Sweet dibs. How'd you afford this?
That house was great, by the way.
Yeah,
that was actually a champagne suite in the Babylonium Casino.
I loved it. I will say, of all of Riverdale, now are we in Rivervale or Riverdale?
We're in Riverdale. Yeah, Dale
Riverdale.
with a D.
Yeah.
All of Riverdale, including the diner, has the harshest lighting I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
Yeah.
How is half your face in shadow when you're at a diner?
Yeah.
I guess in a sense we all exist half in shadow.
That's true. Yeah, we got it. The shadow self is a big part of this show somehow.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, it is.
You're gonna laugh, but believe it or not.
No, Betty mentioned it, and I was like, all right, well. Now, physical corruption leads to moral corruption, or it leads to moral corruption leads to bodily corruption. Is a thing that Christians use to talk about the AIDS epidemic.
Sure.
How do we feel about like that's a bit of a thing, right? Is that normal in the show?
No, the show is like exceptionally queer positive.
Okay.
I don't know what Betty was fucking on about.
Betty has had a couple times when like she's towed the line a little, like in like I think season 1 when Kevin was cruising.
True.
Betty kind of like gave him a tongue lashing about it, and it came off a little more than just concern. There was a little bit more gunpowder in that musket. So
I will say, in Betty's defense, even though she is talking about her gay half brother, I think the moral corruption she has in mind is not his being gay, but instead his being a serial killer.
That does make sense. Yeah, which is pretty bad.
I also agree. Like Riverdale writers, actually, maybe we don't want to parrot like Christo-fascist propaganda about the AIDS epidemic.
If more characters could talk like Reagan, might not be the vibe.
Yeah. I have another question.
Unless you're
for
talking
Laser,
about the advent of the internet or something fun like that, where it's old Reagan explaining technology, and you're like,
talking about
this is truly an actor. Yeah.
I hate Reagan because of AIDS. The thing I hate him most about is because of he ruined the free press, and I'm going like it has ruined democracy forever.
He did a lot of bad things. Yeah.
I like my whole childhood was like the free press will save us. Like that was what I believed in. That was my thesis at college. And then I realized that was true until Reagan, and now we're all just fucked forever. But anyway,
you sound like me dropping out of law school, where the more I learned, the more scared I got, and the more desperate I was to Riverdale. Laser.
Yes.
Let's say you've been working for an immortal racist warlock because he promised to teach you magic.
Yeah.
And now it's finally time for you to get to choose what kind of warlockery you get to learn. Would you be choosing A, ventriloquism?
Hell yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Is that the only...
Yeah, that's the only
option. Okay, so here was my question, and it may have just been that it was so hard to look at the show that I may have missed something that happened on the screen. Yeah. Like this does happen to me sometimes where literally later today I'm recording a watch podcast of Doctor Who, and the old episodes are so boring that I cannot pay attention to what's happening on the screen. Yeah.
Which Doctor are you in right now?
We're watching a first Doctor thing. It's not my podcast.
You're watching 60s Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That's hard.
It's a podcast where they're watching Doctor Who in chronological order. So it's
that's going to take a while.
But not from when it was aired, but from when it took place in the universe.
So you'll get to you'll get to the demon cord pretty quickly in that show, right?
Again, not my podcast. It happens in my home.
I'm gonna brag for Laser's partner.
Yes,
back
please
here
do.
for a second. Laser's partner is the person who went through all of Doctor Who and edited it into chronological order. And I don't mean that the episodes, like whatever the loose time of the episode is. I mean, if there's a 2-minute scene in an episode where they go back to ancient Egypt, that 2-minute scene is put on the ancient Egypt part of the timeline.
Yeah.
It took her 10 years. Hyperfixation, I see.
Required viewing, I would say.
No, my girlfriend is neurotypical, and I will not hear anybody say that spending 10 years to edit 24 days of video using spreadsheets was not the act of a totally normal brain.
It's not a judgment. I'm going to go make a wrestling edit set to like music after this.
I got an autism diagnosis before I got tested.
Congratulations.
Thank you. What happened was I went in to go fill out my intake forms, and they're like, "Here you go." They handed me a clipboard, some papers, and a Bic pen, and I went, "Oh no, thank you. I use my own." And I clipped my my Pilot G2 10 at the time. I'm now an 07 guy, but I clicked that, and the doctor looked at me and went, "Honestly, sir, we're done here."
And I've been unable to write for a few days because I didn't have my pilots. Like they were in a wrong. What are we doing? Like,
and me personally,
pencil.
As far as I know, I'm not autistic.
Okay.
Though I tend to only date autistic people.
Okay.
And my version of that story, however, is that when I got tested for ADHD, they give you a little test where you have to look at a screen, and sometimes like a red circle appears and sometimes it's a blue square, and like every time it's a red circle you click or whatever. And there was a fascinating map of the historical United States just above the monitor where I was supposed to be taking this test. And
that's tough.
My psychiatrist told me that and I quote, she said, "You scored the worst on this test that I've ever seen."
Okay,
but
I want to answer your ventriloquism question.
Oh, sorry.
We got away
Which
from
one
that.
would you pick out of A, ventriloquism?
Did he do ventriloquism in the episode?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Sorry, in the episode,
He throws his voice when he's in the crowd.
That's right. He throws his voice. Is the doll there?
No.
Okay.
We don't see it.
But you see him, you hear his voice, but you don't see him talking.
Ventriloquism, the fun thing about ventriloquism is that it can kind of be anything. So like you can actually turn the normal ventriloquist act on its head by pretending to take drinks out of a puppet and have a cup talk.
Have a cup of water talk. I love that.
Yeah.
That's good. Why
This is what I'm talking about. This is the funniest person on earth. This is what I'm talking about. This Twitter ass humor. This is my shit. Jughead's magic act is awful. Yes.
When he blindfolds, he wears a blindfold and then just says like a thing.
Yeah, like 90% of magic is just the
It's
pattern,
arguably not a magic act because he can just read minds.
Yeah.
It's just
so
him
he's just reading
minds.
people's mind. But that's like, do something fun. Like,
he's not
what's
a fun guy.
A funny secret about your.
There's 2 mind reading scenes that from different movies that I think are really impressive and worth mentioning. One is Nightmare Alley, the classic, where they gather questions and answers, and what they're doing is the person's looking at a crystal ball, but the person's writing answers in on a board that then gets reflected up into the crystal ball. So they are reading that. The other reference I want to make is from the movie Next, starring Nicolas Cage, where Nicolas Cage goes, "You sir, stand up there." Yeah, thank you. It's a big get for this episode. "You sir, stand up. You sir, you seem like a soul man. A soul man. A soul man. Sir, can you tell everyone where you're from?" And the guy turns to the camera and goes, "I'm from Korea." And it really changed my DNA. Like, I had never seen magic happen before until that moment. I thought I had. Like the Magic Castle, I'd been there, I had frequented it. But really, this was when I was like,
Wait,
I truly believe.
Omar, you said you'd never seen magic before, but didn't you say that his curiosity shop was a veritable treasure trove of arcane artifacts and esoterica?
I did say that.
Everybody talks so normal in this show. This is one of the things that I love about it. Everybody just talks like how I talk I walk into a room and I say, "I'm sorry, I had to put my witch training on hold." And like it's just
Laser,
shit like that.
Laser, tell me, how much do you know about turning unseeable?
Well, from my understanding, it does involve a cloak. Usually.
What are your cool weird hipster points of reference?
What are your points of reference for that?
Okay, well, I've seen it happen twice in my life.
Sure.
And one time was in the movie Shrek.
Cool.
Can I tell you, until recently, so it's Harry Potter and Wizards of Waverly Place. I only recently learned that Wizards of Waverly Place is about wizards.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I didn't.
Do you know where they live?
Is it in a hotel maybe, or
I think they just live
Main Street?
A street called Waverly Place.
I can tell you probably anything about Wizards of Waverly Place.
Really?
I feel like this is probably because you are 5 to 10 years younger than me. Is this accurate? Okay.
An underestimation, Laser.
I would like to believe that I look like I'm 25.
Let's crank that up to 30 years younger.
I'm not 15, thankfully.
Azzy, please tell Laser, how old are you?
I'm 20.
That's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. And I will say,
Azzy's our Gen Z representative on the pod.
Azzy, how old do you think I am? I'm trying to prove a point.
Okay, so I'm just gonna. Do you mind if I walk through my thought process here?
I would love it.
Here we go.
I know that Sarah is early 30s. I know that Omar, you're 36, 37.
Oh my God! All right, in the ballpark. Off by a day, actually. Off by literally one day.
Wait, is it your birthday tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
yeah. Oh my God, happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, everyone in the pod, this episode is coming out months after this. But everyone, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Harmonies are coming out.
To you.
There we are.
Happy birthday, dear Omar.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday to you.
Might have been so bad to listen to that I might have had to edit it out.
No,
I don't think so.
It's in.
I don't think so.
Listen, Laser and I are members of a musical improv troupe together called Dr. Wickwan Wyke Presents. And I think we know what we're doing.
I will say, as he tidied that up in post, listening to it, it was the beautiful. We use the word confluence a lot. I'll use it again. It was as if three independent bakers were like, "We're going to make a cake. I'll take the x-axis, you take the y-axis, and I'll take the z-axis."
Yes, perfect.
I'm sorry. Is that a Riverdale reference? Because that's insane.
Oh no, that's off the dome.
Oh, great.
Off the dome.
So I know roughly how old the others are.
Great.
So the problem is, I know you are friends with Sarah.
Yeah, that is the problem.
That is a problem.
Big problem.
And so, like, that gives me like a general age range.
Do I feel wiser?
Can I not be friends with people in their 20s or 40s?
Well, you can, but it's like it's somebody you know in person. You know, I feel like more of the time that you're friends with people outside of your age is usually like an online acquaintance or somebody that you met while traveling or something.
It's interesting.
Or a goth club.
This is an interesting. I think, given your life experience, this is a reasonable deduction.
And
then I think, Laser, you are.
Do you want me to turn off the face smoothing I have on Zoom? Will that help?
Laser, I'm gonna go 36.
Yeah, I'm exactly 36 years old.
Well,
that is also Googleable. So if you did that, I respect it. But if you didn't, I'm very impressed.
I can prove it.
You don't have to prove it. I
Whoa,
No.
okay.
No, she can fucking prove it, Liz.
Jesus Christ. I think, and I cis people think I'm younger than I am, but I think cis people forget that you reset your age appearance.
I was about to say, yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's a fresh restart.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a friend who looks like 5.
I am 31. But I will say, once you exist in sort of like you're out of college and you exist in sort of adult world, you hang out in person with people of all kinds of ages.
Sure, I was saying roughly the same age within the same tens point, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'd say a lot of my friends, my in-person friends, range from 24 to like 50.
Yeah,
I can see that. But my best friend is Ben Kingsley.
Sure.
I don't know our age difference.
72 years.
I think he.
Oh,
yeah. He's 105.
Yeah.
Years young. Thank you very much,
Yes.
audience.
But anyway, happy birthday, Omar.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I would
June
love
5th.
the thing I would love the most for my birthday is to attend a magic show where people are reading minds, possibly with a fold of maybe someone trying to do some shenanigans against Jughead. Do you think, let me ask the table this, do you think Jughead has any security measures set up to stop Percival Pickens from going into his mind?
Yeah, no, probably.
He didn't seem to think that anybody else could do magic the way he was doing that.
Yeah.
Like everybody would just be. This was part of my concern about this episode is that there's a lot of supernatural stuff going on.
Yeah.
But the people who have supernatural powers seem to assume that nobody else has supernatural powers.
Yeah, even though they do know that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Percival Pickens also his great-grandfather? Is he his own great-grandfather in this world?
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Not in like
you
a
mean
time
Percival Pickens' own
paradox
grandfather?
way, but in like an immortal racist warlock way, yes.
Yeah, that's like when they're talking about his great-grandfather. I was wondering if that was also him.
It's just him.
Yeah,
it is him.
Okay.
Yes, and listeners, to answer the question from earlier, here's how you go unseeable. You just have to be able to hold your breath and keep a level head as you bend the spectrum of visible light around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. We should have addressed that.
No, it's okay. It's a nested questions, as we always do.
I'm going to go unseeable for just a second because I need to get headphones that won't lose battery.
Okay.
Okay.
Bend the light. Oh my God. Audience, I can't even begin to describe to you what we just experienced.
Laser is gone.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can see a book moving.
Oh, is that a weird? Is there a weird? Oh, okay. That's just that book.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't the book I was worried about, which is a big book that has a creepy face on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I couldn't hear you for a second.
That would be the Malleus Maleficarum, which is one of the most powerful arcane texts in existence.
That's the witch hammer, right?
Oh, thank God Laser's back with the Facebook.
Oh, hi, Laser. Welcome back with the Facebook.
The book had 2 faces, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it had some faces on it. Yes, the witch hammer.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty bad book.
Yeah.
It was giving Necronomicon, but make it...
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a little Necronomicon downstairs that I wanted to bring up that's got like the face on and everything, but it's very. I inherited it from a friend who moved to the UK. It was going to fall apart if I moved it.
Are they not
so
allowed?
So now it is
a
cursed book that I can't touch.
You can't
put
bring
that in the old time capsule.
Oh, that would be good.
Oh, that is good. If I were going to make a time capsule and not put useful survival supplies, I always thought it would be funny to bury a series of time capsules all around the world and like have like texts or carved iconography suggesting like a worldwide religion that never existed.
I love that.
That's really good.
It's a very heady answer, and
that's
what
really
I
good.
Only expect from you.
Yeah, that would be my prank.
You know those cards where you open it and it plays a little like the sound chip gets activated? I would probably do duck
I made
sauces.
those for my band. It was
my
proudest merch item.
Yes.
Duck sauce. Are we doing the big bad
wolf? I would put
wolf?
one of those in the door, and it would play Duck Sauce's Barbra Streisand.
That would be great. Here's another Sarah lore drop. Laser, every now and again, I love dropping a little bit of lore.
Right.
Yep.
I actually spent 5 weeks on an archaeological site, digging up a late Bronze Age Mycenaean town site in nearby Pylos, Greece. So,
whoa,
yeah. And if I had found a little card playing Duck Sauce's Barbara Streisand, I would have been so excited.
Side note, a different person.
Side note: if you ever find yourself on an archaeology dig, and one of the people in the dig with you is Canadian and says a lot of words weird, like for instance, instead of saying bagel, they say bagel.
Sure.
And for a long time, for weeks, they've been saying the word sherd in reference to pieces of pottery, and you think that it's just their Canadian way of saying shard. You'd be incorrect. Actually, shard is a fragment of glass, and sherd is a fragment of ceramic. And so don't be misled by the Canadian.
Canadians are always trying to mislead you by saying words weird.
Yep. Yeah. They try to get you. I live in a world of constant absurdity and I celebrate it. I will say though, every so often the spicy brain does kick in and people like say a joke, quote unquote joke. I would call it a lie, but a joke that's like, why don't seagulls fly over the bay? And I'm like, they do.
They do.
And
fly
I
over
won't
the bay.
budge. Yeah. I just can't budge on that.
If they did, they'd be a bagel?
No.
Through what sorcery, ma'am?
Stop.
So you're telling me a bird flies, and the second it passes the arbitrary human boundary between sea and bay, it what? It transfigures? Explain to me the system by which it does so. Yeah.
I work for a man named Hank Green, who is one of our foremost science communicators.
Yep.
Please.
Big get.
And he has a similar problem with the joke, why can't you trust atoms? Because they make up everything. Because there are some things that are not made up by atoms. Which is...
That's true.
Yeah. Those are the only things I can trust.
You can only trust completely 100% scientifically accurate jokes, and I think that's what we should all learn.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think this is how humor works. And okay, like that was a joke, but what's not a joke? This is something I've been thinking about as we've been working our way through this show.
Yeah,
here we go.
I know earlier in this very episode I said I don't think I'm autistic. However, what I will say is it really bothers me when shows are ambiguous. Like the end of Inception is the most infuriating end to a thing I've ever seen.
I
hate Mulholland Drive. I don't like anything where I feel like where I'm left to like interpret the truth of what's being presented to me, because I'm like, all right, well, the writer and creator of this property surely know what they intended. And if so, they're withholding it from me. And if so, like, it's not clever. It's just that you're not telling me. And that's frustrating.
I would love to put you in a room with a sword and the Lost guy. I would love to see that.
No, thank you so much. Okay, Damon Lindelof, because I know you're listening. You're listening to this podcast, and I'm staring into the camera, even though I know this is an audio-only format.
Enemy of the podcast, Damon
Lindelof. Fucking stop, okay?
Yeah.
And actually, he's an interesting case, because The Leftovers, which is the third show canonically that I've seen, The Leftovers, I think, would have been a perfect show if they'd never bothered trying to answer the question of why that percentage of the population disappeared.
Yeah.
And that's one where they did try to explain it, and the explanation sucked. And I hate Damon Lindelof. But what I don't like is when a show pretends like there is an answer and won't tell me. I'm okay with the absurd. I'm okay with absurd things happening and being acknowledged as absurd.
And that's the statement that's being made.
Right. Like in Riverdale. Lots of absurd things happen that don't need to be explained. It's simply stated that they're happening.
Like an Inside You and Davis sort of thing, where you're like, it's just it's a folk song.
Oh, what a film.
I guess. I don't know what that is. But I think one of the things that I really appreciate about Riverdale is that while there is all this absurdity, everything else is very explicit. There's no like intentional ambiguity from the creators where you have to wonder, what did they mean by that? It's like, no, you know what they meant. They told you what they meant.
Yeah, they literally said it.
And I find that very soothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's a good balance. Laser, did you feel taken care of? Did you feel catered to in this episode?
I think if I had seen the whole show, they would have taken care of me. There were moments when I was like, okay, so he's in bed and his mom is trying to kill him because one time he killed a possum as a child. Like you can reverse engineer it a little bit, but just hopping into it and going, who are all these people?
Yeah.
These two men who clearly care who is the father of the child and have agreed to not get a paternity test. Like there's just a lot.
That's interesting. So you're suggesting that maybe jumping into season 6, episode 16 is not the right way to view Riverdale.
I think it was the right way for me, but maybe not in terms of feeling taken care of with regards to the continuity of Riverdale. But that's why I'm here to ask you all questions.
Yeah.
This is A to seeing in my own mind, and I understand, and possibly at the risk of being a bad co-host, I'm going to ask this question because I really can't take you all through how I got here. But
it's jazz, baby. It's jazz.
You're telling me the witch in Hansel and Gretel wakes up every goddamn morning in a candy house and goes, I choose this life. And then when finally kids show up, she's like, thank Christ. Like finally the plan is hatched.
Yeah.
That's what she does with magic.
That's how she uses it.
That's I'm sorry.
I think it's revenge, right? Isn't she doing a revenge on Hansel and Gretel?
I thought she just wanted to eat children.
I thought she just wanted to eat them.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking
is it maybe
about
like
the film Hansel and Gretel
sort of thing where it's like your dad scorned me and ergo
That's what I thought it was. But I
Omar,
might be thinking of the Jeremy Renner film, which may not be the same thing that you're
Omar,
thinking.
are you talking about the Jeremy Renner film, or are you talking about the fairy tale?
No, I'm not talking about the Bourne Identity sequel film that Jeremy Renner was in, where he fights the witch from Hansel and Gretel.
Oh,
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Are you talking about the Katherine Heigl rom-com? Just kidding.
Yes.
That's not Jeremy Renner. That's the guy. That's the guy from 300.
Which one?
I'm unclear.
The guy who plays
asking...
Leonidas in 300 is in a rom-com with Katherine Heigl.
Jerry Butler.
Yeah, sure.
Jerry Butler.
Jerry. Can I ask a question, or are we still on a segment?
You can ask a question.
No. There was no even parenthetical. There was no space in the sentence. It just collided into a Hansel and Gretel thing, and now we're back out.
Laser, this happens to us. This is episode 3 we're recording today. And the first 2 were very on point. But by this point, it does sometimes devolve into Omar and Sarah just kind of meander through whatever's in their heads.
I wasn't sure if at any point you wanted to like tell the audience what happened in this episode.
Oh, sure. Yeah, Laser, bring us back on track, baby.
Do you want me to do it? Because I could.
Yeah,
I would
let's
love
take the ghost train back on tracks. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Archie unionizes a group of people specifically to get them out of work. He tells them to unionize for better conditions.
Yes.
With a specific goal of removing their jobs from existence. Yes?
Well, no.
What is this?
He wants them to
WGA?
strike for a while.
He wants them to strike so that the ghost train never gets built.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he also is mad because they used to work for him on a union job rebuilding Pop's Diner brick by brick, but that actually meant just moving all of the furniture into a boxing gym that he owns.
Yeah, it wasn't really brick by brick.
With a truck inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
And really extreme lighting. I would never go there.
No.
That lighting is so unpleasant.
Well, you might not go there, but it's apparently very nice if you're a ghost.
Yeah. They love it, especially if you got burned there.
Yeah.
If you're Dilda Snide.
If you're one of the 4 ghosts who are haunting Pop's Diner and you have to protect it because it's going to be the battleground between good and evil and you have to bear witness, then you would actually really like what they did.
Okay, well, there you go. Different strokes.
Cool.
We already mentioned Veronica has poison powers and therefore she's pivoting to absinthe with the lesbian that has a crush on Betty.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done
Who
that.
wants to get in on this because nobody's ever created absinthe that won't kill you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
And then
have y'all ever
Betty's
had absinthe? I've had absinthe.
Betty's half brother gets kicked out of prison because there's not enough space, and then his mom tries to kill him, and then she uses Veronica as a blood cleansing device to cure him.
As a human biodialysis machine, yes.
Yeah.
Reggie learns
ventriloquism. We covered that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also one of his memories has been stolen because somebody pulled a page out of a comic book.
Yeah.
His memory of Veronica calling a hit on her father, Hiram Lodge, has been pulled because he was using that to blackmail Veronica.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what I said. And then and then the 2 hot girls with the pretty lips are lesbians. and they are learning witchcraft
together.
Well,
Yes.
Heather's already a witch, and Cheryl's like already pretty fucking witchy. Plus, she's pyrokinetic.
Yeah.
But she's never used
she
the
had to use
word
that
witch for
label.
herself. Yeah, she's been dancing around the label for years.
It's like a bisexual who doesn't want to say they're bisexual because they're going to be shamed because they've only
she's
ever
only
dated
a
men.
No, she's only a lesbian. She's openly lesbian.
Great.
She's dancing
Perfect.
around the label witch.
I was using a metaphor, Sarah.
Oh, I don't understand metaphors.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, that's the plot of the show.
Yeah.
Who's gay? That's my question.
Oh,
Okay, let's get to that segment.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheryl and Heather, canon gays.
Are they together or are they just
Not
they're
yet.
at the beginning of it?
They used to be
Sure.
in middle school.
Yeah.
Tony and Fangs. I mean,
Mhm.
Tony and Fangs are each bisexual. Fangs and Kevin used to be married.
Yeah.
And Tony
Mhm.
used to be dating Cheryl.
Is
Yeah.
Fangs the person who had the baby, Anthony?
Yes.
Baby
Okay.
Mary Anthony. Yeah.
Betty is canonically
Shout
bisexual.
out Mary
Mhm.
Anthony.
Everyone else will be canonically bisexual in season 7.
Yeah.
when
In the 1950s.
the
yeah,
reckoning comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big deal. Big deal.
They
Once-
go back to the 1950s in the next season.
The whole season takes place in the 1950s, yeah.
Great. Okay. Veronica's
Okay.
outfit at the Jughead show, really bad. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, the Zatanna outfit? Oh, wait, you mean after that? The
She's got like a shiny
presentational one.
out. It just seems like such a boring show. I know we already talked about it, but I really want him to have patter. I want to get in there
Yeah.
and script him something because, like, who's
Percival
going to that?
Pickens. Percival
needs-
Pickens is also gay.
He needs a pen for his teller, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. True. Azzy, Percival Pickens is canonically bisexual.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah. And Percival Pickens has to stay out of Jughead's mind because there's a sign.
There is a sign.
Yes.
And the
There's
door's
no
locked.
Percival Pickens.
The door's
Yeah,
locked.
so that
but-
he kind of shoved the door open so Jughead can't close his mind
Yeah.
palace anymore.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
And so he left his waitress girlfriend.
Yes. And he
Yes.
went
Mhm.
to, where did you think he went?
Ooh. Instagram to be a photographer.
That's
Correct.
good. Good
That
guess.
is what he did. But before that, he went to a bunker where he started hearing his own voice.
Oh, okay. I did hear him in the bunker and I heard him hearing things, but I didn't realize that was his own voice.
Yeah. You might think he was reading the mind of the Splinterverse Jughead, who's sitting in that very bunker in the parallel world, writing stories powering the independent existence of Rivervale.
I did think that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before I knew that all of that stuff existed, that's definitely what I
Yeah.
thought.
Did the bunker remind you of the bunker when during the Griffins and Gargoyles season?
Wait, what?
When Jughead was homeless during the Griffins and Gargoyles season.
When
There's
they were
a
playing Griffins and Gargoyles?
they were playing Griffin, so they had like a
You
Stranger Things
remember?
thing.
You remember when Moose's dad was dressed up as the Gargoyle King, and he interrupted Moose and Kevin having sex for the first time in the woods?
They were having gay sex in the woods.
Sorry,
About
you,
to.
You remember when Ben jumped out of the window in service of the Gargoyle King?
Yeah.
Or when
Okay.
that
Yeah.
teacher jumped out of the window.
But that had nothing
Yeah.
to do with Griffins and Gargoyles, actually.
So Greg,
Yeah.
That was the private school arc.
so
when
is that
Sam
like
Witwer jumped out of a window, that was just him.
That was
Yeah.
a separate thing.
Yeah, it was a separate thing.
is this
That was
now are
all
these
him.
mystical griffins or are these podcasters?
Oh, this
Oh.
is the in-universe version of Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. So it isn't like a bunch
not
of
a
white guys
McElroy
with glasses
situation.
talking about
No.
Oh, like
movie.
a Griffin McElroy? Like
a Griffin McElroy, Griffin Newman kind of
yeah, yeah.
conflagration.
I was about to say what I would give for that, and I'm like, that's every 5th episode of Bim Bam these days. So, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not that kind of situation. Just a normal satanic panic situation.
yeah.
Yeah, so you might have remembered the bunker from that season is what we're saying.
Yeah. Is the baby supernatural at all?
The baby, I think in this episode it's implied that the baby is sort of destined to be Percival's foil in the cosmic
Mm.
struggle,
Okay.
correct?
Well, I'm excited to see that. I will say I did watch the previously on and it didn't help me at all.
Okay.
Oh, here's the line. Baby Anthony is Riverdale's greatest hope. Baby Anthony is the future, which is a problem because I too am the future, and there can be only one.
Yeah.
Right.
Would it surprise you to find out that Baby Anthony is sort of the Trunks of Riverdale?
The Trunks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I ask what that means?
Sure. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Is this one of those things where you had cable as a kid and I didn't? So
yes.
I don't know.
Probably. Yes, it's very much that.
Kinda, yeah.
I don't.
Okay, let's see.
Let's do another reference then. That would be more akin. This
Dragon
is the
Ball.
This is the Arthur. This is Baby Anthony's the DW of Riverdale.
Yeah, the DW to Percival's Arthur.
Yeah.
That is very good.
Yeah, Baby Anthony is the Zaboomba-Foo.
Zaboomba-Foo. I'm so glad Zaboomba-Foo got a shout out. I love Zaboomba-Foo.
Thank you. I've seen that show also.
Laser, can I book your casino for a special event? Like a fan convention?
A fan convention for fans of what? Like a Comic-Con?
Like a convention for fans of serial killers, maybe?
Musical Sting. Did that feel like it came out of nowhere or no? She wanted to.
Oh, she's a serial killer hunter.
Yeah. She hunts serial killers.
Yeah.
But her brother is also a serial killer.
Well, and so is her dad. And so is her brother's boyfriend.
And
so
she
is her
could
mom,
be
maybe.
too if she hadn't Mercy killed that cat.
I don't know.
She's worried she will be because she has a serial killer gene.
Yeah, and she found out her nephew and niece also were like suspiciously doing stuff with a cat. And she was like, oh my God, they might have the serial killer gene. And she also recently found the corpse of a sheriff that her dad killed and her mom helped bury underneath their dining room table.
Yeah.
True.
In the house?
Laser.
Yeah, they dug up the floor.
Laser, we don't have time to get into it. And to be honest, Laser, I have a confession to make.
Okay.
The podcast, though I'm very, very glad we're doing it, was a pretense. A ruse to get you to spend more time with us.
Oh God. Well, I'm glad I was here, and I'm glad that we got to discuss unions. The thing that I wrote down that I didn't mention is that this is also the plot of season 2 of The Gilded Age, and it was also about a train and a union. So this is the only kind of show I like to watch is train.
This is old hat for you.
Just ones with trains.
Yeah, this is
ones
old
with
hat.
Trains.
Like a beanie that you buried in a time capsule that would later be used by an immortal racist warlock to break into your mind palace.
Hey, Sarah, you will deliver the beanie onto me, please.
And Laser, in exchange, would you do us the honor of handing out some awards?
Yes, absolutely. Would be an honor.
Amazing.
Thank you.
First award is named after the guest from episode 1, Oscar Montoya, who created this award. And it's called the Sin Pie Award, and it goes to the character, object, inanimate object concept, or haunted vehicle that ate their slice of the sin pie and left no crumbs, who crushed every scene they were in.
I mean, I as a proud sort of gay man, I have to stand Cheryl Blossom. She's mother. She's mother. She's everything. I love her. She's turning a look while she's invisible. She's wearing a very cute little ensemble.
So many cute ensembles.
She's like, what do I need to do? Sing a Bruce Springsteen song? Dua Lipa only for me.
Yeah.
This line was written by somebody who's 45 years old.
Who, to be clear, we would never be friends with in real life.
No, of course
they're
not.
outside of our age range.
The second award that I would love for you to hand out is the Ross Bryant Notice Me Senpai Award.
Okay.
This award goes to the character or, creature that you wish to be noticed by.
That I wish to be noticed by. Who? I mean, I guess because I was a horrible misogynist earlier and made a very sexist comment about Agent Lesbian who has a crush on Betty. I would like for her to notice me so I can apologize profusely for the outfit that the costuming people put her in.
I see.
You'd like to apologize in person repeatedly.
Yeah, anytime.
Well,
as a sort of game.
Agent Drake, we hope that you notice Laser and don't take notice of his rampant misogyny. Maybe we can get that actress on the show. And
please no.
That wouldn't that be embarrassing for you?
Yeah.
Laser.
Yes.
Award number 3.
Yes.
This is the Dan Lippert Award for Can You Make a Prediction About What Happens Next?
Okay, great. This is a good title.
Yeah.
Just any plot beat that you think might come up in this season?
Yeah, big or small.
All right. I think that there is going to be. I think that doll's going to come to life. The ventriloquist doll.
Okay.
You don't make the doll like that if it doesn't come to life.
Some Goosebumps action.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, Slappy. Yeah, as voiced by Jack Black.
Shout out to the Justin Long Goosebumps television show.
That's the one our show really wants to shout out.
Yeah.
Is the one with the haunted mask that's a blank mask from Party City.
Yeah, it's great. I love that show. Canonically the 4th television show I've seen.
Did you know that there was a Goosebumps musical that was on Broadway?
I did know that.
No, what?
Yeah, it's very confusing to me.
I'm so upset that I didn't get to be a part of that. Not that it's about me, but you know.
This says
it should have been, Omar.
It.
It should have been.
Oh, I started it?
It says that you starred in it, yeah.
Oh, Christ, that's what that was. I'm so sorry. That was a weird year for me.
That got ripped out.
That was the memory. That was the page of my comic book.
Y'all remember the episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark where they get body swapped by a chameleon? It's Tia and Tamara Lowry.
No, I don't think I remember that episode. I thought you were going to ask
them.
about the one where they put a comic book in the toaster to dry it.
No, I only ever think about the chameleon one. It scared me to my core, and I never watched horror for like 20
Will
years.
you stop talking about shit that was on cable? Okay, I was a Christian.
Sorry.
I did not have cable television.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
In that case, do you remember that episode of Zoom where
Laser, since you were such a good Christian, would you do us the honor of awarding the 4th award? This is the Britannia Award for the moment in this episode that most made you say, what?
Oh, gosh. The moment is when I texted you earlier, Sarah. And I think it was when the show went from a completely normal show to I'm afraid it will be a ghost train that gives him dominion over the living and the dead.
Sure.
Because up until that moment, it was just a Union episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when you texted me, hey, Sarah, what the fuck is this show?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
And lastly, this is the last award. This is a fresh award. We actually got this only a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
From the mouth of the character himself. This is the Dr. Curdle Jr. Award. You get to give this award to the line delivery that was the most serious delivery of a line you can't believe someone said out loud.
I mean, we have a strong contender for this episode.
Yeah, I mean, that was good. I do think it was her staring her brother in the face and going, are you afraid of what comes next, of death? Because as somebody who has sat next to people who are dying for a lot, I just never, I don't think, would have the balls to say that to somebody.
Yeah.
And I kind of admired it.
Yeah, you don't have the serial killer gene, probably.
No, I don't have the serial killer gene.
Amazing.
Now, I know that in this season or in this universe that they don't know this, but in a previous universe, in Riverdale, they did find out from Jughead that the afterlife is just Pop's diner.
Yeah.
So
that's the afterlife in Riverdale, at least.
The sweet year after.
Well, there's a lot of afterlives actually, because Abigail goes to the lesbian witch graveyard.
That's
in the
true.
sky.
And we know that people go to hell. We know that people go to hell.
Yeah, there's definitely a hell. Because, I mean, that's where we hear Betty's dad tell us about the Chazzy Cheddars off Route 18. So,
yeah, ouchie, it hurts.
Yeah, so we've got 3 options there.
Yeah, and Laser, what are some options for places people could find you?
Well, there's, I am frequently at the Chazzy Cheddars.
The one off Route 18?
No, a different one on the 5.
Oh, yeah.
I know this isn't a video podcast, but I do wish people could just watch me watching you talk about Riverdale because God, this is
Patreon exclusive.
Yeah, it's just like what the it could be like one of those like fire logs that you have at Christmas. But
Yeah,
it's just
for
me
sure.
going, it's not real, right?
Yeah.
Like
explaining
I knew
that to relatives visiting for the holidays would be really fun. I'm sorry, who's on our television? What's going on here? And what's he listening to?
No.
Oh, that Laser's listening to a recap podcast. No, Grandma, not of the entirety of Riverdale, specifically Riverdale Season 6.
No, Grandma, not a regular recap podcast. Grandma's always be expecting podcasts to be normal. Who am I? I'm Laser. I'm Laser the Boy on socials. I have an album out called A Shark Ate My Penis, which is the soundtrack from my show, A Shark Ate My Penis.
Amazing award-winning show, not only at Hollywood Fringe, but also at Edinburgh Fringe.
Exactly. It's a good educational album. It'll teach you things like some people aren't bisexual. There's a song about that, which is
baffling.
true. And I know you don't want to believe it, but you have to allow that to be true. It needs to be true, otherwise my marriage would still be going on. You know what I mean? So like, let's just let it.
No, you don't have to date people just because they're bisexual, Laser.
What?
Sorry to break it to you.
Oh fuck! I have so many text messages to send. And if you go to my website, lasertheboy.com, you can join my email list where you'll find out about stuff. I do a bunch of shows all over the place. It's too much to explain. But if you like gay, nerdy shit, get on my email list and I'll tell you about it.
Yes.
And Azzy, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram at I Need Azrael, Azrael. You can go follow the podcast at Riverdale 6 Pod and follow our links there to whatever you need to find, maybe including a Patreon by the time this episode comes out.
Maybe.
Well, we need a Patreon because we need somewhere to post the video of Laser in the corner watching us confused.
Pay us $10,000.
Yeah.
I'm worth it.
I'm Sarah Kaplan. You can find me on Instagram at Sarah Rose Kaplan. Sarah, no H, Rose like the flower, Kaplan with a C. And you'll find me posting about stuff on Instagram, like improv shows. Like, oh, I don't know, maybe an upcoming Dr. Wick Van Wyck presents Twubble and Yesland show? I don't know, because this episode is dropping months after we've recorded it. So improv doesn't work that way. I don't know what we have planned. But whatever it is, you can find it on my Instagram.
Yeah, hey everyone, happy New Year. This episode comes out. We are recording
just in case. Happy Ides.
Yes.
Should we sing Happy Birthday to everybody?
Would
you like it if we did that again? Would you like more songs?
Can you just put the clip of our Happy Birthday back right here? Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I'll do some pickups for the name. Sarah. Okay. And then
there we go.
Azzy. Okay.
That's
and then Sarah, do you want to
Laser.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Okay.
We're covered.
Yes, we're covered. And you can find my stuff over at Orna Jean-Bill on Instagram, where by this point, hopefully I'll be posting more stuff. And over on F and Funny, where I'm doing ABCD with Sandeep Parikh, as well as, some fun Wikipedia and stuff, and maybe my own little D&D thing that's going on at the time. And of course, folks, you listen all the way to the end to hear the segment that I'm introducing for the first time ever on this show. This segment's called A Thing That Azzy and I Have in Common. And this week, a thing that Azzy and I have in common is we both have plush red pandas in our rooms that I only just noticed that you have.
Yeah,
mine
what's yours named?
Mine is right over there. Mine is called, I'm so glad you asked. Mine is called Little Raywin.
That's a good name.
Little Raywin.
Mine's Ripple.
Ripple.
We're
going in alphabetical order.
That's a gift from my partner.
I've never had a plush red panda, but I did. My college my girlfriend and I had a shared plush fire ferret.
That's good.
Yeah.
From the show Korra, Legend of Korra.
Yes, from Legend of Korra. And that's it. And Omar,
that'll be a recurring segment every episode now.
I will say, Laser, your face did not change from us going from talking about Riverdale to us talking about this. I do wonder if it's just an us thing.
It could just be an us thing.
Laser, thank you so much for joining us. You are genuinely one of the most incredible, hilarious, creative people we have the pleasure of knowing. And for our little nerdy circle, you also are a freaking legend. I want you to hear it on the hot mics that our podcast provides.
That's so nice.
You have changed culture for us. Do you understand that?
That's so mean. How is that true?
Laser.
I love you. I love you so much.
Laser,
yeah.
There's more value in you than in the mules that carry the palladium out of these mines. And I want you to know that means a lot.
I will say I do know that I am famous because Sarah was like, I'm only booking famous people on my podcast for the first season. So I feel like that does make me know that I have value.
If you do get invited back for season 2, stars fallen.
Yeah, sorry. Season 2 is all nobodies. Here's how you know you're famous, because the first time I mentioned to Azzy in Discord that I was like going to go hang out with you, Azzy was starstruck because you're a big fan.
I am a big fan of your work.
Oh my gosh, that's really nice. I love this. Part of my life is trying to convince Amy Vorpal that she's famous, because I'm less famous than her. So I need her to believe she's famous so that I can believe that I am famous.
She was just on our podcast, ergo.
She's famous.
Earlier than me, though. Yeah, earlier than me.
It's not in
we're
order
going
that
in
way.
ascending
It's not in
value
order that way, because Zacharino is after than you, and he's more famous.
Oh, that's true. I love Zacharino. I love him.
And after that, we've got presidential candidate this year, Joseph Biden.
Yeah. So
oh wait, this joke will not land because this probably comes out in November or something. So
he'll be dead by then.
If you're listening to this from whatever has become of the United States of America, first of all, cool. Did you download it in advance, or is the internet still around? Second of all, I'm glad you found our time capsule, which we included a series of cassette tapes with these episodes.
And you might have said you could have just put it on those little chips, because when I opened the door, it went Barbara Streisand. But we just didn't have the time.
And, oh my God, it would cost so much money, but putting an entire podcast episode on a greeting card and sending it to somebody,
that would be amazing.
We have to make that is the dream.
Hello, folks. Before we get to the greeting card, we are brought to you by Casper Mattresses.
Okay. I'm sorry. I have to cut this off short here. To our future listeners listening from the time capsule, I just have one more thing to say to you.